Well, you've made it to 7-7, Triumphs and Challenges of the Modern Age. It's been a great ride. Here we go. Number 49. What leaders were instrumental in helping to end the Cold War? The leaders I'm referring to at this point are Mikhail Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan. Also, Boris Yeltsin, the leader of the Russian Federation, was instrumental as well. But the main ones I want you to know are Gorbachev and Reagan. Number 50 lists some of the new technologies that impact and shape our world today. Well, this is a real tough question, but some of the technologies that I want you to know about are satellites, radios, computers, internet, televisions, all sorts of wonderful things. So think about that, and think about the effect that technology is having on us. Brand new technology that is becoming more and more and more popular is, of course, social networking and the cell phone, or the smartphone, quote unquote. Number 51, what was the Green Revolution? How did it affect our environment? Well, the Green Revolution was this time in which Americans and others decided to start using pesticides to produce more food, to get rid of the bugs and all that. It affects our environment in that, the pesticides end up making the environment not such a good place to be. We don't want to be spraying CFCs. We don't want to be spraying pesticides and ruining our ozone layer and destroying our world. But the increased use of pesticides really had an impact on the environment in that it killed lots of species, it killed lots of native animals, and that was not such a good thing during that time period. Now, when we talk about the Green Revolution, it seems that we're talking about coming up with eco-friendly things, but this Green Revolution, I'm talking about using pesticides. What was the purpose of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Number 52. The Declaration of Human Rights was written by the United Nations, and it was actually penned by Eleanor Roosevelt and her committee. And the purpose of that is to protect human rights, to protect rights for every single human being on this planet. The right to live, the right to be free. And there's a really, really good video. If you go to YouTube and you click in Universal Declaration of Human Rights, there's a great video that summarizes those rights for you. Number 53, what is apartheid? Apartheid is the separation between blacks and whites in South Africa. And the person who kind of fought against the ravages of apartheid was Nelson Mandela, leader of the African National Congress. 54, what's the difference between a developing nation and a developed nation? Well, the United States is an example of, do you know? A developed nation is correct. A developing nation is a nation that may or may not be as developed and have all the technology that we sometimes take for granted here in the United States. Women's rights, going right into 55, women's rights are very different in different parts of the world in that in developing nations they typically have less rights. A lot of times developing nations are nations in which a religion rules. In a developed nation, women have more rights, but it is still a fact that women make 70 cents for every dollar that a man makes, even in America. So you got to think, where are we headed here? Number 56, who is Nelson Mandela? Why is he an important historical figure? Nelson Mandela is, again, the leader of the African National Congress, and he's an important historical figure because he fought against apartheid. He was put in jail for 27 years. The people were very upset about this, and he was finally freed and became the first black president of South Africa. Number 57, what is urbanization? Urbanization simply is when people move from rural areas into urban areas. And it's a huge, huge problem in America and all over the world right now because there's just not the resources in the cities to sustain all those people. 58, what's global economic interdependence and what effect does it have on our world today? We are all dependent. We're all in this together. We are all just part of a big plan in this world. And if one country has an issue, we all go to aid that country. We communicate instantly. It takes no time for us to get all our information out, and so that everybody in the world can find out. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have MySpace, we have all these different social networking sites. And it's so easy to be interdependent instead of independent. Number 59 lists some of the environmental issues the world faces today. What have countries tried to do to reduce the impact we are having on the planet? Well, some of the issues are, of course, global warming. We also have a hole in the ozone layer, and this is something that's debated, but for our purposes, we have a hole in the ozone. And humans are contributing by using hairspray and things with chlorofluorocarbons in them. Humans are also contributing by driving cars that aren't necessarily eco-friendly and by using chemicals that aren't eco-friendly as well. We have tried to set some limits. The Kyoto Protocol, or the Kyoto Accords, during President Clinton's presidency, sought to protect the environment and limit the amount of waste that a country could produce, and kind of made countries vow to come up with more eco-friendly ways to protect the environment. Eco-friendly ways. We're trying to protect the environment. We're trying to do what we can to help our environment, and it was important that we do that. So it's important to understand that we are trying to help things, but it is a slow process, and not everybody's on board. There are a couple countries that just aren't wanting to help. Some of them are developing nations. Some of them have other issues, and so hopefully everybody will get on board. And we'll even have better restrictions so that we can have an environment that's suitable for our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children. Okay. Number 60, the people we've learned about this year, how would you categorize them? I just want you to go through that and go to each of those different folks, okay, each of those different groups, and think of people that you think are historians, sleuths, visionaries, symbols, potters, actors, poets, and healers. Okay. Try and list 2 to 3 people for each box. And that wraps up 7-7. And good luck on studying for your final exam. I'm sure you'll do phenomenally. If you need anything, please see me or email me at arobertson@lexington1.net. Thank you so much, and have a great day.